Hi, my name is Annaliese Sabo. Today, I'll be evaluating Social Security using the seven principles of sound public policy. I'll explain what Social Security is, why it exists, and how is it affected. It is based on economic principles. What is Social Security? Social Security is a U.S. government program that provides financial support in people when they retire, become disabled, or lose a family member who was working. It is mainly funded through payroll taxes called the FICA. Money is automatically taken out of your paycheck before you even get it. Your employer also pays an equal amount of money on your behalf. That combined money goes into your Social Security system. Retirement benefits. Monthly income for people after they retire, usually starting around the ages 62 to 66, depending on when you claim it. There's disability benefits, money for people who can't work due to a serious disability. Survivor benefits, payments to families like children or spouses if a worker dies. Purpose of Social Security. The purpose of Social Security is to provide a basic financial safety net for people when they can't earn income on their own. It is meant to reduce poverty, especially elderly poverty, and make sure people still have income when they lose their ability to work. They have the retirement support, giving people monthly money after they stop working, their disability support, people who have a serious injury or illness, and then the family protection, helping spouses or children if a worker dies. History. Social Security in the U.S. started during the Great Depression, when many other older people had no savings and no income. So here's a little simple history. In the 1930s, the Great Depression happened. Millions of people were unemployed and elderly poverty was very high. In 1935, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed a Social Security Act as part of the New Deal. The original program mainly helped retire workers, but was much smaller than it is today. Over time, it expanded. In the 1950s, disability benefits were added. In the 1960s, Medicare, which is health insurance for seniors, was added alongside Social Security. Later years, survivor benefits and more protections were expanded. Today, Social Security is one of the largest government programs in the U.S. and helps millions of people. So who pays versus who benefits? Who pays into Social Security? Workers at most jobs in the U.S. pay a portion of their paycheck into Social Security through payroll taxes. Employers also pay the same amount for each worker. Self-employed people pay both themselves, like the worker, and the employer portions themselves. High earners pay more in total because it is based on income. So who benefits from Social Security? Like I had stated before, retired workers who've worked enough years to qualify for monthly payments. Disabled workers who are unable to continue due to a serious medical condition, survivors, such as spouses and children, if a worker dies and had earned enough credits. In some cases, dependents, like the minor children or a former spouse, can also receive benefits. Costs and concerns. The first one is it costs a lot of money. Social Security is one of the biggest government programs in the US. It pays monthly benefits to millions. Because so many people depend on it, the cost of it is very high. Number two, fewer workers supporting more retirees. In the past, many workers paid for each retiree. Now people are living longer and retiring for more years. At the same time, there are fewer workers compared to retirees. This means fewer people are paying for each person receiving benefits. Three, funding concerns. Social Security is mainly funded by payroll taxes. There is a concern that in the future, the money coming in may not fully cover the money going out. If that happens, benefits could be reduced unless changes are made, like higher taxes or adjustments to the retirement age. Number four, economic impact concerns. Some people argue payroll taxes reduce the take-home pay. Others worry it might slightly reduce savings or job growth because money is taken out of wages. And the last one, number five, long-term sustainability. The biggest concern is whether the program can keep paying full benefits in the future without changes. The first principle we're talking about today is free people are not equal and equal people are not free. This means that when people are free to make different choices, outcomes will not be equal. But if you try to make outcomes completely equal, it usually requires limiting some freedom. People pay different amounts into the system because they earn different wages over their careers. Because of that, people also receive different benefits amounts. When they retire, higher earners usually get higher monthly benefits. This shows free people are not equal because in a free system, income and benefits are not the same for everyone. On the other hand, Social Security also creates some level of equality in basic support because it guarantees a minimum income for retirees, disabled individuals, and survivors. But to provide that shared safety net, the government requires mandatory payroll taxes, meaning people do not have the full freedom to opt out. Principle number 2, what belongs to you, you tend to take care of. What belongs to no one or everyone tends to fall into despair. This principle means that people usually take better care of things when they personally own, while shared public systems can be harder to manage because responsibility is spread out. Workers pay into Social Security through payroll taxes, but they do not have personal accounts they directly control or invest themselves. Because the money is pooled and used to pay current retirees, some people feel less direct ownership over their contributions. This can lead to concerns about long-term management. Since everyone relies on a system, but no single person directly manages their own money inside of it. At the same time, since Social Security is a shared public program, its success depends on collective responsibility, meaning everyone paying in helps support everyone receiving benefits. If too many people try to avoid paying it or believe someone else will cover it, the system may become financially stressed. Principle number 3, sound policy considers long-run effects and all people. This principle means good public policy should not focus on short-term results. It should think about the future and how it affects everyone in society. Long-run effects. Social Security must stay financially stable for future generations because people are living longer and there are fewer workers per retiree. Policymakers have to think about whether the program will still have enough money decades from now. Future generations. Today's workers pay into the system, but they also expect to receive benefits later. So decisions like now, like tax rates, retirement age, benefit levels, affect people who are not even retired yet. All people affected. Social Security nearly impacts everyone. Workers who pay in, retirees who receive benefits, and taxpayers who support the system. It also affects families through survivor and disability benefits. On to principle number 4. If you encourage something, you get more of it. If you discourage something, you get less of it. This principle means that incentives created by policy can change people's behavior. The system encourages retirement savings through benefits because people know that they will receive monthly income after they stop working. This can increase the number of people who retire instead of continuing to work. It also encourages early retirement for some people since benefits are available starting at a certain age, even though waiting can increase payments. On the other hand, Social Security payroll taxes can discourage additional work or higher earnings for some workers because part of their paycheck is taken out for taxes. It also may discourage personal savings for retirement because some people may rely on Social Security as a safety net instead of saving more on their own. Principle number 5, nobody spends somebody else's money as carefully as he spends his own. This principle means people tend to be more careful with the money they personally own and control compared to money that is shared or taken from others. Workers pay payroll taxes, but they don't directly control or manage how the money is used. Like I had said, it goes into a shared government system. Since the funds are pooled and redistributed to current retirees, there is concern that government spending decisions may not feel as careful or as efficient as if an individual controlled their own retirement savings. Some people argue that if workers had more control, like personal retirement accounts, that they might invest more carefully and track their savings more closely. Supporters argue that Social Security provides a stable, guaranteed income, which reduces risk compared to individual managing all the retirement investments on their own. Principle number 6, government has nothing to give anybody except what it first takes from somebody. This principle means the government does not create money out of nowhere. Anything it gives out benefits must come from taxes or borrowing. The monthly checks received by retirees, disabled workers, and survivors are funded mainly by payroll taxes taken from current workers' paychecks. So when someone receives Social Security benefits, that money originally comes from workers and employers who paid into the system. If Social Security ever does not collect enough money from taxes, the government may need to raise taxes, reduce benefits, or borrow more money. But in all cases, the resources still come from somewhere. Our last principle, principle 7, liberty makes all the difference in the world. This principle means that when people have more freedom to make their own economic choices, they can improve their own lives and respond to what works best for them. Participation is mandatory, meaning workers are required to pay payroll taxes. This limits individual choices compared to a system where people could fully opt in or opt out. Because of the requirement, people have less liberty over their retirement planning, since part of their income is automatically taken. At the same time, Social Security provides financial security and freedom from extreme poverty in old age. Giving people more stability and independence later in life, some proposals suggest increasing liberty by allowing personal retirement accounts, where individuals could have more control over how their retirement savings are invested. In conclusion, Social Security is an important, effective program that provides a financial safety net for millions of Americans. It helps reduce poverty among retirees, supports people who are disabled, and protects families who lose a working loved one. At the same time, the program faces long-term financial pressure because people are living longer and there are fewer workers paying into the system compared to the number of beneficiaries. While it continues to play a major role in economic stability, policymakers may need to consider reforms in the future to ensure it remains sustainable for future generations. Thank you for listening.